Okay, dear students, once again, good morning to all. So, today our topic is hematinics. So, these are the tonics. So, they are boost or enhance the formations of the blood. So, these are the drugs. So, they are mainly used for the treatment of the anemia. So, anemia it is one of the blood related disorder. It is shows lack of RBC or the oxygen carrying capacity or supply of the oxygen to be decreases due to decrease in the RBC in our blood. So due to that our vital organ they do not got the sufficient oxygen. If organ they do not got the sufficient oxygen means the whatever the organ functions are there all functions are abnormal. So that was the conditions of anemia and oxygen so they can accelerate the metabolic activity of the body or metabolic activity of the organs, then organs only so they are involved in the synthesis of protein, synthesis of carbohydrates as well as the synthesis of the lipids, and these are required for the development of body, growth of body and repair of body. Then as well as so they are helpful for the synthesis of various hormones, enzymes and steroids. So they all metabolic activity of the organ or tissue in the organ. So they are mainly depending upon the oxygen in our body. So the oxygen can be transported from lungs to the different part of the body. So with the help of the RBC, because so RBC it can containing a coloring pigment. So that pigment was known as a hemoglobin. So hemoglobin it mainly consists of globin and heme part. So that part each hemoglobin so they can occupy the four molecule of the oxygen then supply from alveoli of lung to the different parts of the body. So then only organ can be utilized oxygen and involved in the repairing process or development process. So that all reactions so they are mainly depending upon the oxygen content in the organs, and oxygen content are supplied to the organ that is mainly depending upon the number of RBC. If the number of RBC decreases, so that condition was known as a anemia, and anemia is one of the common causes disorder or diseases in the human beings. So where the supply of oxygen or the RBC number was decreases. So that was corrected with the help of the group of medications and nutrition, and those are known as the hematinics. So regarding the anemia, so anemia can be caused due to blood loss. So any injury or in the female due to abnormal menstrual cycle, or if the peoples they are suffering from the shock means so gradually day by day the volume of the blood was decreases, or hemorrhage or bleeding it can causes the loss of blood, and loss of blood or decrease the volume of the blood in the body one of the main risk factor for to cause of the anemia. Then second factor so that was responsible for the anemia is to decrease the red blood cell productions. So dear students, once again, so the RBC synthesis is mainly depending upon the erythropoietins, and erythropoietin is a hormone so that was secreted from the nephron, so then enter towards the red bone marrow, those are present in the inside the bone. So where erythropoietin it can stimulate the stem cells, especially lymphoid stem cells or colony forming units stem cells. So these stem cells, so they are responsible for the synthesis of the various RBC and as well as the RBC then platelets. Even so they are mainly depending upon the hormones like erythropoietin and thrombopoietin. And RBC synthesis is mainly depending upon the availability and concentrations of the erythropoietin. If any problem in the kidney or malfunction of the kidney, the erythropoietin secretion was decreased. So due to lack of erythropoietin, the red blood cell production was decreased. So that was one of the also risk factor for to cause of the anemia. So another one is a by destructions of red blood cells. So during the bleeding, the blood vessels becomes of wrinkles, so they are responsible to damage of the RBC or loss of the RBC from the blood. So due to that also the anemia can be occurs. So regarding, so there is a problem in the stem cell proliferations. Proliferation nothing but development of the any kind of cells or organs. So that was known as the proliferation and stem cells. So these are the main cells. So they are present in the red bone marrow. So they are involved in the productions of the blood cells. If any problem in the stem cells due to oxidative stress or entry of free radicals in the body or generations of free radicals in the body or any release of chemicals or entry of chemicals or endotoxins into the body, so they are enters toward the RBM, they can alter the normal physiology or normal functions of the stem cell. So due to that, once again the number of RBC can be decreases. So that was responsible for to cause of the anemia. So regarding the symptoms of anemia, so were the people they are suffering from the fatigue and fatigue unnecessarily, you are suffering from the fatigue because the fatigue is mainly depending on muscle. If the muscles are not work properly, so then only we are suffering from the fatigue, or if the brain do not got the sufficient concentrations of oxygen with the help of the RBC, then also the fainting can be occurs. So these are the main and sign and symptoms regarding anemia. They can early detect. Unnecessarily you are having the good food, still you are having the fatigue means, so that indicates somewhere in our body the blood cannot be transported adequately the oxygen, or the RBC number was decreases, where you could concentrate how the RBC number was increases, so that was helpful for to avoid the development of the anemia. Or so in the respiratory system the shortness of breath is occurs. Okay, the due to congestions or any problem due to or decreased RBC number, certain short of breath is present. So that is one of the symptoms of the anemia. Then as well as there is a problem in the digestions or change in the stool color or even the muscle pain is occurs or skin become the yellowing. Then, so there is a muscle pain due to lack of oxygen. The muscle do not produce the sufficient ATP or do not produce the metabolism. So due to that, we are suffering of pain. So these all are the sign and symptoms of the anemia. Or the yellowing skin or yellowing eye. It is the main sign and symptoms of anemia. So regarding types, so anemia, so they are categorized into different types. Among them, the important one is a iron deficiency anemia. So it indicates the deficiency of the ferrous or ferric or iron. So still the person was suffering from the lack of RBC or lack of hemoglobin, because the iron it's play important role in the synthesis of the hemoglobin, and lack of iron in our body in our intake food, then the person is suffering from the anemia. So that type of anemia is known as a iron deficiency anemia. Then second type, that is the vitamin deficiency anemia, because vitamin B12, vitamin B9, B6 as well as vitamin C. So these are essential for the formations of hemoglobin. Among these vitamin B12 it is required for the maturations of RBC. Matured RBC only, so they are involved in the transport of oxygen. If the, but unmatured RBC, lack of vitamin B12, so those unmatured RBC are known as the reticulocytes, and these reticulocytes they do not transport the oxygen. So when the reticulocytes are matured in the presence of vitamin B12, then only so that matured RBC is involved in the transport of the oxygen and removal of the carbon dioxide. If we are suffering from the deficiency of the vitamin B12 due to use of antacids or any gastric problem, because already you know from the HAP, so vitamin B12 it is absorbed maximum in the stomach with the help of the intrinsic factor. So that intrinsic factors was secreted from the gastric juice or secretion from the stomach. So due to lack of that secretion or intrinsic factor, the vitamin B12 do not absorb. So that's why, so you should not take unnecessarily anti-secretory agents like antacids, then omeprazole, lansoprazole, or any drugs. If those drugs they inhibit the gastric secretion means, so that drug was responsible for to cause of the anemia, because they inhibit the release of intrinsic factor also, and intrinsic factor is only one carrier. It is helpful for the absorptions of the vitamin B12 from food into the blood in the stomach, and lack of that the person is suffering from the decreased number of RBC. So that condition was known as the vitamin deficiency anemia. So that's why you should not take the unnecessarily any kind of the anti-secretory agents or antacids. Otherwise, we should be suffering from the anemia. So next one is the aplastic anemia. So where due to any problem or oxidative stress, the red bone marrow, so they are fail to synthesize the RBC. So due to oxidative stress, so the RBM functions will be malfunctions or their damages, or they are become the yellow RBM. So due to that, the RBC do not produce sufficient. So that condition was known as the aplastic anemia. Then hemolytic anemia. So due to loss of the blood gradually from the body due to abnormal bleeding or benzoyl shackle or any shock. So where also the person was suffering from the anemia. So that type of anemia was known as a hemolytic anemia. Then next one is the sickle cell anemia. So where the RBC structure should be abnormal. So RBC, so they are look like a dumbbell. Okay, so RBC, so they look like a dumbbell. So due to dumbbell in nature, the easily the oxygen can be enter inside the cell and leaving the oxygen outside the cells. If any problem in the RBC structure due to once again deficiency of vitamin or any abnormalities or entry of free radicals or generation of free radicals, so then the RBC structure can be altered. So due to that, the oxygens properly cannot be entered inside the RBC. So due to that, the person was suffering from the once again anemia-like symptoms. So that type of conditions is known as a sickle cell anemia. Next one is the anemia during the chronic disease like rheumatoid arthritis, HIV, AIDS, and Crohn disease. So these are the inflammatory disorders. So due to this disorder, also the person was suffering from the anemia. So that type of anemia is known as the anemia of the chronic disease. So next one is the anemia is also associated with the bone marrow disease. So any bacteria, if viruses or any fungi, if they are alter the functions of RBM means, so they can responsible for to cause of the bone marrow disorder. So due to bone marrow disorders, so then also the person was suffering from the decreased number of the RBC or hemoglobin. So that kind of anemia was known as the anemia that should be associated with the bone marrow disease. So these are the different types of the anemia. So they occur due to deficiency of iron or problem in the vitamins or any problem in the RBM or any that is a insufficient multivitamins in the body or bleeding or hemorrhage. So they are responsible for to cause of anemia. So where our organs do not got the sufficient oxygen or nutrition. So that condition was known as the anemia. So regarding the hematinics, so these are the substances required for formations of blood, because blood it is the main carrier to supply the nutrition or to supply the oxygen and remove the carbon dioxide and waste material. If any deficiency due to any injury, bleeding or shock or anxiety or depression, so then only the persons will be having the hypovolemia of blood. So due to that, the person was suffering from the anemia. So that was corrected. So that was treated with the help of by enhancing the productions of the blood cells or productions of the RBC. So such substances are known as the hematonics. And these substances, so they are mainly classified or categorized into three types, that is the iron and its compound. Example is a ferrous succinate, ferrous sulfate, and ferrous gluconate. So these are the iron supplement, and iron is the main constituent required for the synthesis of the hemoglobin, and hemoglobin is the main factors of the RBC. It can occupy the oxygen and transport from one area to the another area. So lack of iron, so RBC cannot be synthesized. So like that, due to deficiency of RBC, so doctors, they are physicians, so they are administered the iron supplement like ferrous succinate, ferrous sulfate, as well as the ferrous gluconate, so they can enhance the synthesis of hemoglobin. So due to that, so they can correct the anemia especially. So these drugs, so they are mainly used in the treatment of the iron deficiency anemia or megaloblastic anemia or nutritional deficiency anemia. So regarding second, that is the maturation factor. So these components or drugs, so they are required for the maturations of RBC or conversions of reticulocytes into erythrocytes, because in certain conditions we are having the 14 gram of hemoglobin or normal range, still we are suffering from the symptoms of anemia. So that indicates our body can produce the RBC, but those RBC are unmatured, so those are known as the reticulocytes. So that was occurs due to lack of maturations or due to lack of the maturation factors like vitamin B12 and folic acid like vitamin B9. So here certain drugs are there like cyanocobalamine, then hydroxycyanocobalamine. So these are administered. So where the hemoglobin content is correct, when we measure the hemoglobin content, but that person was suffering from the this problem related to the anemia, that is shortness of breath, skin color becomes changes, or easily the fatigue can be occurs. So that indicates that person was suffering from the vitamin deficiency anemia, and these second category drugs, so they are helpful for treatment of the such kind of the anemia. So next one is the miscellaneous like copper, cobalt, then vitamin B12 like a riboflavin. So these vitamins and cofactor is also play important role in the biosynthesis of the hemoglobin. So this is the flow charts regarding the synthesis of RBC. So RBC, so they are mainly synthesized in the red bone marrow with by presence of the colony forming blastocytes or CFU cells. So those cells under the influence of erythropoietin, so those becomes the proerythrocytes, and proerythrocytes still they having the nucleus. Further in the presence of vitamin B2, then vitamin C, then cobalt, then copper, then iron. So gradually the synthesis of hemoglobin increases up to the 4 days. So after 4 days, the nucleus can be ejected. The nucleus space can occupied by the hemoglobin molecule. It can occurs within 4 days once the erythropoietin can stimulate the stem cells, and those are known as the reticulocytes. So these reticulocytes, so these are the immature RBC. So after that, so these immature RBC reticulocytes become the matured RBC. So in the presence of the vitamin B12 and folic acid. So like that, so various component, so they are required for the synthesis of hemoglobin and synthesis of RBC. If any deficiency of these component, then the person was suffering from the anemia, maybe iron deficiency or vitamin deficiency or any other type of the anemia. So that was corrected. So with the help of the supplement of the certain medications or drugs, so those are known as the hematinics. So now we learn regarding the pathophysiology or pharmacology of iron. So iron, their source is, so they are richly present in the liver, egg yolk, dry bean and dry fruit. So these are the rich source of iron, and iron is required for the biosynthesis of hemoglobin, and hemoglobin is the main component of the RBC. So where the hemoglobin present RBC, so that RBC only it can carry the oxygen from one place to the another place or from alveoli of the lungs to the different parts of the cells. And those iron supplement, so they are frequently present in the liver or present in the egg yolk or dry bean as well as the dry fruits. So because so liver, inside the liver only the RBC can be ruptured in the presence of the reticuloendothelial system. So to ruptures of RBC after age of 140 days, so those RBC can be ruptured and liver cells they can separate iron into hemoglobin. So that's why so iron is more present in the any kind of the liver, maybe animal, maybe human being, but we are prefer the animal livers. And as well as the egg yolk, dry bean and dry fruits, they are containing the rich of the iron. Then mediumly they are present in the meat, chicken as well as the fish, banana and apple. If you need the iron means you can prefer these foods. And poorly the iron can be found in the milk and its product. Even you are taken the milk means then also your hemoglobin content can be increases. Or if you are non-vegetarian, then you can prefer the meat, chicken, fish. If for the vegetarian means you should be prefer the daily banana and apple. So they can supply the essential iron for the synthesis of the RBC or hemoglobin. So regarding the daily requirement in the adult male, the daily requirement is 0.5 to 1 mg or 13 microgram per kg. But adult female, so they are required more than the male, that is 1 to 2 mg or 21 microgram per kg. Then infant, so they required 60 microgram per kg as compared to adult male and female. The infants required more because the developing stage is there. So they are required to development of bone, development of organ or enlargement of organ or increase of the size. So that all are depending upon the proteins, lipids and cholesterols. And those protein, lipid, cholesterol synthesis in our body, it is mainly depending upon the oxygen. And oxygen can be supplied by the RBC only. And RBC, it contains hemoglobin. And hemoglobin synthesis is mainly depending upon the iron. So that's why the infant, so they are required 60 microgram per kg due to development stage. Like that, children is also required 25 to 25 microgram per kg. And during pregnancy, in the woman, so that is required, daily requirement should be 3 to 5 mg or 80 microgram per kg. Because so when some new body or new womb will be developed, so development womb it can require the more and more oxygen and more RBC and more protein. So that's why during the pregnancy the iron supplement should be take or administered among 3 to 5 mg or 80 microgram per kg. So then only so that big baby becomes a matured or healthy. Otherwise that baby will be suffering various kind of disorder due to deficiency of the development of the organs. So regarding the transport of iron, so whatever you are taken the iron supplement through a food, so they are the ferric in nature, that is Fe3. So when they are administered, so when you are taken through the oral route, first they are entering the mouth, then after that they are entering the stomach. From the stomach, so they are entering the duodenum. So dear students, so in the GIT, duodenum is only one part, so where the iron can be absorbed. And ferrous from the dietary, it can absorb on the basis of the pH. So when the acidic pH is there, so then only the ferrous or that is the ferric ions can be absorbed or iron can be absorbed. In the stomach, so as well as in the duodenum, the pH should be acidic less than 5. So that environment was favor the absorptions of the iron. So here, so that is the ferric when they enter in the duodenum, so one enzyme is present. So that is known as the ferrirelatase. It can convert ferric into ferrous because the body required ferric molecule, but the ferric ion or ferric form of iron it do not absorb. So when it is converted into ferrous, so then only it is absorbed. So that conversion is mainly depending upon the enzyme that is known as the ferrirelatase enzyme. That enzyme only found in the duodenum. So that's why the iron supplement, so they are absorbed from the only duodenum due to presence of this enzyme, and another condition is presence of the acidic pH in the duodenum. So that ferrous that is converted ferrous from the ferric ion so they are enter in the mucosal cells. So the intestine, so they will be having the certain borderline cells. So those are known as the mucosal cells, and these mucosal cells, so they will be having the one carrier. So that carrier was known as the DMT1 or divalent metal transporter. So these divalent metal transporter, so they can occupy the ferrous and deposit into the mucosal cell or borderline cells of the duodenum. So then where after accumulations of ferrous in the mucosal cells of the duodenum or GIT, so where the ferrous ion, it can bind with the ferroprotein, then enter into the blood streams. So in the blood streams, so due to presence of certain enzyme, so this ferrous ion can converted into ferric forms. So like that, our body is required the ferric form of the iron, but ferric form of iron it do not absorb. But structural changes in the presence of DMT1 or ferroprotein and ferric reductase, so that can make the absorbable, then enter into the bloodstream or blood. So where, so that ferrous molecule that was bind with the ferroprotein can convert into ferric form. Then here, so this ferric form of the ferrous ion, so they are enter in the erythropoietin via transferrin receptors by complex with the glycoprotein transferrin in the blood. So they entered ferric form or formed ferric form first in the blood, so they are complex with the glycoprotein transferrin, also written as the TF. So then only, so this ferric form, those are conjugated with the glycoprotein, so they are transported from different part of body. Finally, so they are reaches to the red bone marrow. So where, so they are along with the stem cells are also known as the erythropoietin cells. So then we are involved in the release of iron by endocytosis. So that released iron, so that was helpful for the synthesis of the RBC. So like that, the ferric form or iron can be transported from dietary food into the towards the stem cells or RBM for biosynthesis of the RBC. So that was mainly depending upon the acidic environment. If there is no acidic environment in the stomach and duodenum, then there is no iron can be absorbed. So that's why you should not take the unnecessarily antacids or anti-secretory. If you should still you are taken means, so that environment become the basic, and basic environment do not favor the absorptions of the ferric ion or conversions of the ferric into ferrous. Then as well as the entry of ferrous into blood, that was mainly depending upon the carrier like a DMT1. If any mucosal problem or peptic ulcer or gastric problem or constipation, so they can alter the normal, that is normality functions of the DMT1. So that's why if the person suffering from the peptic ulcer or duodenal ulcer or any kind of the gastritis or constipation, then also the person was suffering from the deficiency of RBC or anemia. So that's why if the GIT is healthy mean, then only that iron can enter the bloodstream. From the bloodstream that can enter into the erythropoietin cells or stem cell, then only it is involved in the biosynthesis of the RBC. So like that, the iron can be transported from food into the towards the RBM for synthesis of the hemoglobin or synthesis of the RBC. So regarding the storage, so these iron molecule, so they are stored in the reticuloendothelial cells of the liver in the form of the ferric form only. Okay, as well as they are stored in the spleen, then bone marrow, as well as hepatocytes and myocytes. So the iron, it can mainly excreted through urine about 1 to 3 mg. Okay, then as well as bile, skin, sweat, and as well as menstrual flow, through which the iron supplement can be, excess of iron supplement can be excreted. So regarding the adverse effect, if you have taken plenty of iron supplement mean, then also it can shows the certain ADR. So those are epigastric pain, then as well as heartburn, nausea, vomiting, staining of teeth, or metallic taste and constipation. So these are the adverse effect due to consumptions of the excess of iron supplement. So regarding the therapeutic uses, so iron supplement, so they are used in the treatment of iron deficiency anemia, megaloblastic anemia, or The iron supplement is also used as an astringent in the case of the throat infections or as a throat paint. So, where the iron gargles, so they are used as a astringent for treatment of the oral thrush. So regarding the next one, important, that is the vitamin B12, also known as the cyanocobalamin. So it is the one of the essential or water soluble multivitamin. It is required for the maturations of RBC. So the daily requirement of the cyanocobalamin is about 3 microgram. So they are mainly found in the Kita as well as the cottage cheese, then eggs, beef liver, then beef, then as well as milk, then shrimps, then cheese. So these are the rich source of the vitamin B12. And regarding the deficiency, so due to deficiency of cyanocobalamin, so the person was suffering from the anemia, reduced appetite, then unnecessarily fatigue, then diarrhea, hair loss, even yellow skin. If your skin becomes yellow or your palm becomes yellow or if your eye it look like yellow, it indicates you are suffering from the deficiency of the vitamin B12 or you are suffering from the vitamin deficiency anemia. So on that condition, you can go for the supplement of the vitamin B12 or already the multivitamin capsule tablets they are available in the market, as well as the person was suffering from the reduced appetite, that is the weight can be loses, then fatigue, then diarrhea, even the hair loss can be occurs due to deficiency of the cyanocobalamin. So regarding the others, so these are helpful for or vitamin B12 is essential for the treatment of the megaloblastic anemia or vitamin deficiency anemia, and also it is essential for normalizations of the sleep, that it can support the respiratory system, and as well as the cyanocobalamin it can enhance the sperm motility, because the sperm motility it is play important in the fertilizations. If the vitamin B12 is deficiency mean the motility was decreases, so due to that the children do not occur. Okay, so that condition was known as the infertility due to decrease the motility of the sperm, and motility of the sperm is also depending upon the vitamin B12, and as well as it can nourishes the brain or it can supply the more energy or it can energetics to the brain, then only the brain can work the properly. So these are the beneficial effects or uses of the vitamin B12 or cyanocobalamin. Next, regarding the folic acid, it is also known as a vitamin B9. It is a water soluble vitamin. So it is mainly found in the liver, green vegetables, egg, meat and yeast. Then daily doses it should be required less than 0.1 mg. During pregnancy, it should be required 0.8 mg per day. So this folic acid or vitamin B9 play important role in the synthesis of the hemoglobin and as well as maturations of the RBC, that was mainly depending upon the vitamin B12 and vitamin B9. So they are used in the treatment of anemia or any epithelial damage. So the vitamin B9 is helpful, or during the weight loss. If you need the weight means, so then you can take the more and more folic supplements. Okay, so this is regarding the folic acid and folate metabolism. So that taken folic acid is converted into dihydrofolic acid in the presence of synthesis enzyme. Then that can count DHF can convert into tetrahydrofolic acid in the presence of the DHFR, that is dihydrofolic acid reductase enzyme. Then further it can convert into THF. Then further that THF can convert into 5-MTHF. So this is required for the synthesis of the proteins or required for synthesis of the hemoglobins or required for synthesis of the various functions. So like that the folic acids it is helpful for treatment of the certain kind of the anemia. So these all components, so they are required for the